I currently use the AirPods Pro 3 as my daily driver earbuds, but before that, I was actually using the AirPods Pro 2. But before that, I was actually using this, the Sony WF-1000XM5. It's Sony's flagship true wireless earbuds, which they released back in 2023. And considering the fact that this is over 2 years old now, and it's been on the market for a while, and there are so many earbuds out there, I was kind of curious what it would be like to switch back from my AirPods to Sony's earbuds and see if these are worth buying 2 years later. So for the last week, I've been using these earbuds on my commutes to and from work, I've been using them while cooking, cleaning, or chilling at home, and I've also been using these while going to the gym. And in this video, I'm gonna cover the 4 things you need to know before you buy the Sony WF-1000XM5 over 2 years later. First thing you need to know about these earbuds is the fact that these have really good ANC despite being earbuds that are over 2 years old. In our lab tests, the Sony WF-1000XM5 is able to reduce the loudness of outside noise by an average of 87%, among the best we've tested thus far. It's not the best we've tested in our labs ever, as that title currently goes to the AirPods Pro 3, especially when it comes to true wireless earbuds, but Sony's ANC on these earbuds is still really good. These do a really good job in quieting loud environments such as busy cafes, screechy subway cars, or even if you're taking these on a flight. These are gonna dull airplane engine noises with ease and let you just focus on your music without having to crank the volume too loud. Of course, that ANC performance is highly dependent on whether or not you can get a good fit with these earbuds, which unfortunately is not going to be the case for everybody, but I'll get more into that later in the video. Still, when it comes to getting a pair of earbuds with really good ANC, the XM5 is still among the best in the category. Another thing you need to know about the Sony WF-1000XM5 is that even over 2 years later, Sony is doing a really good job in supporting the earbuds via firmware updates and software features, because even here in 2025, the Sony WF-1000XM5 has such a good set of app features via the Sony Sound Connect app. For example, one of the best features of the app is the fact that it comes with a 6-band EQ to let you tune the earbuds to your preferences. Now, is it the best implementation of an equalizer we've seen in an app? No. I mean, look at companies like Sennheiser and Nothing, which actually give you a lot of control over the EQ via a parametric equalizer. With Sony's implementation, you can only adjust these 5 frequencies and what they call clear bass, which I don't know exactly what frequencies are affected there. Assuming it's bass though, because it says clear bass. But beyond these frequencies, you can't really do things like choose the exact frequency you want. The app really is just designed for casual listeners more than audiophiles. So if you're looking for something more comprehensive, you'll probably want to get something like the Nothing Ear. Otherwise, this should be fine. I mean, I'll still take this over Apple's implementation, which is, nothing. But besides the equalizer, there's also a Find My Equalizer quiz, which lets you take a test to see what different tuning options you might like from Sony's own app. You've also got access to setting up 360 reality audio for immersive audio on the go. You can also customize the capacitive touch controls, so you can do things like have the left earbud control volume while your right earbud controls playback, like most earbuds do. Again, overall, the app features you get with the Sony XM5 earbuds rivals and actually exceeds the capabilities of other similarly priced true wireless earbuds. Like with the Bose Quiet Comfort Ultra earbuds 2nd generation, you don't really get that comprehensive of an EQ tool compared to Sony with their implementation. And then of course Apple, where the AirPods Pro 3, it has a lot of good features, except they don't trust you to customize the earbuds to your liking. So for people who do like to customize but maybe lean more towards the casual listener side of the consumer spectrum, then yeah, XM5s might be a very compelling option here. Now, since we are talking about sound, another thing you need to know about the Sony WF-1000XM5 is that the default sound is a little too bassy, at least to my tastes. You can even see it in our chart here, where there's a bit of an overemphasis compared to our preference curve in the bass to low mids region. Now, sound is subjective ultimately, and you might actually enjoy having this bass overemphasis, and that's okay. But for me, I just found it a little bit too much for my tastes. I listen to a lot of EDM tracks and a lot of hard techno and Eurodance and whatnot, and there's just a lot of kick drums and bass synths going on that I find that with this tuning, it kind of causes some of my music to sound a little muddy. It kind of masks some instruments like vocals and guitars. Fortunately, there is an easy fix to this. All I had to do to get the tuning to where I wanted was to go into the in-app EQ. I turned down the clear bass slider by about -2, and to compensate for some of the roll-off in the high end, I also just increased the 16 kilohertz slider by about 3 notches, and that was just so that I could reintroduce a bit more of the detail in sounds like female vocals and high-pitched synths. Once I made these changes, I actually found that the listening experience with these earbuds was really enjoyable. The bass didn't sound too loud because of the clear bass adjustment that I made. And yeah, listening to EDM, like bass house and hard techno, or even just going back to acoustic driven songs, like with a lot of guitars and whatnot, or even orchestral songs, was a pleasure to listen to with these earbuds. I will say the stereo width isn't as good on the XM5 as something with the AirPods Pro 3. With the AirPods Pro 3, I found that I got a lot more left-right separation. Though the XM5, it's not bad either. It doesn't sound too internalized. It's enjoyable enough, but I have heard better, especially at the price range of these earbuds. Now, the default sound is forgivable, again, because it has the EQ, but one thing I do need to tell you guys about is the fit. The fit on the Sony WF-1000XM5 isn't the best for me. I found that it just doesn't sit in my ears as well as other earbuds like the AirPods Pro 3. For me, I tried using the medium ear tips and it just felt like it was slightly too large for my ears, that over time I would start to feel the earbuds slowly slip out of my ears. Now, to try to fix that, I did try to use the smaller ear tips that come in the package, but unfortunately, those ear tips are a little too small for my ears, to the point that I could hear the earbuds creaking and bobbing as I walked around the office or down the street. Like, I could actually hear the earbuds start to like jostle up and down, and that got really annoying really fast. Also, I tried every ear tip size, and in order to get a proper seal with the foam ear tips that Sony has provided, I had to really jam the earbuds into my ear, and it created this uncomfortable plugged up feeling in my ears that it just made it hard to use over long periods. And it is especially hard to have to do this and deal with this design after coming from a design like the AirPods Pro 2 with memory foam ear tips, or even just the AirPods Pro 3 with the new silicone memory foam hybrid ear tips. But just like sound, fit is entirely subjective. There are some people who might be okay with this style of earbud and might even prefer the style of earbud and ear tip. Unfortunately for me, now that I've used way more earbuds than just Sony and Apple, and especially after coming from the AirPods Pro as my daily driver, I just don't find the Sony WF-1000XM5 as comfortable as other earbuds I've used. So that kind of concludes my thoughts on what you need to know about the Sony XM5 earbuds before you actually buy them over 2 years later. Now, if you were to ask me point blank, are these worth buying in 2025? I'd say maybe, simply because of the whole subjective fit thing, and also the subjective sound quality preference thing. Rather than just checking these out on your Amazon cart, I would highly recommend going to a retail store first and seeing if there's a display model that you can try on, because ultimately what's going to make or break the experience is whether or not these earbuds will A, fit you, and B, whether or not you like the sound and can get it to sound the way you want to. Besides that, again, the ANC is just excellent on these earbuds despite being over 2 years old, and the app features that are in the Sony Sound Connect app really just add a lot of value to these earbuds. So if you can get a good fit with these earbuds, or you've had success fitting previous Sony XM line earbuds, and you also enjoy a little bit more bass out of your music, then yeah, these earbuds might still be a good buy for you even today. Now, throughout this video, you've been hearing me compare the Sony WF-1000XM5 a lot to the AirPods Pro 3, and if you want an in-depth comparison of those two flagship earbuds, then I highly recommend checking out this versus video right here.